Hi everybody, this is Pramita here, and this is going to be an inspiring insert number 3. So we have done two inspiring inserts with two versions, but in this one I'm going to show you two versions in the same video. So don't skip the video, don't drag the video, watch it very carefully because I'm going to show you both the versions, one which is going to be floating and the other which you can glue on a page of a journal or whatever. You can also use this to send happy mail, pen pal ideas, swaps, whatever. So this is my French Chateau Garden paper, collage paper, which is right now available in my shop. I'm going to post the links in the description box, so if you're interested you can check that. And this paper is printed on inkjet printer. This is not printed on laser printer, so you can very well see the clarity of the paper. And so this is how I'm going to do this insert. Now the first thing I need to do is take off the whites around the pages. So let me introduce myself. My name is Pramita and I run a small Etsy store which is called Bluegrass Journal Shop, where I sell digitals as well as physical items. So there are a number of new subscribers to my channel, so the introduction is for those ladies, and my older subscribers know me pretty well, so I don't think I need any introduction to them. So welcome everyone. And right now the first thing I need to do is I need to trim off this white excess that surrounds the paper so that we can proceed with the insert making, the actual insert making that we are planning on doing. So this is not an original idea. Again, this is highly inspired by Tina from Shabby Dabby Duda, but there are little differences which you will see along the way. And thank you Tina for inspiring us. This I think was about 8 or 9 months back when she was doing some mass making. She was using some pattern papers, some printables, a mixture of both, like she does those things. And I had watched this a while back, but somehow it stayed in my mind. But I wanted to do a different version of the same thing. I usually try and do that. I don't like to copy things blindly. I like to put a different take on that. So this insert is very easy because you don't need to measure anything. You don't need to score as such anything. No measurements, folding is required, but you don't need to measure anything out. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this paper in thirds. That is very important because this folding method is going to create an accordion style pull out insert sort of thing, which you will see. So I'm just trying to gauge how wide this panel will be, because this is going to be a little less than 4 inches, because this paper is not 12 inches wide, it's a little less than that. So this is probably going to fit any kind of journal that I will put this into. So first make sure the width which will fit your project, and if it does, then if it's less than 4 inches the width, then it's fine. Otherwise, if you're making a narrow type of journal, then obviously you will have to make these panels narrower. I'm going to show a narrow version also later on. So if you want to see that version, you'll have to keep watching. So here I'm folding this paper, and you can see this part folds up, and again this part folds up. So here, if I put a tab sort of thing, so I can pull this into an accordion style insert. So I'm going to put some papers here and some pockets, and you'll see how interesting this will look. So I want to create some pockets for these blank spaces. Now I have done something very similar for my design team project for After Midnight Designs, and there I have used vellum as printed vellum as pockets, so you can do that also. Here I'm using paper because I already have these printed out, so I thought I'm going to use them. So I'm using these papers to create pockets. So again, I'm not measuring anything, I'm just going to guesstimate and just measure according to the requirement that I have, not exactly taking measurements as such. So I'm going to take the whites off as usual, and then I'm going to guesstimate the pocket that I want to create. In this one, you can create a variety of styles of pockets. You can create a tall pocket, you can create a small pocket. If you're using a kit, you can even use the pockets that are provided in the kit, provided it fits, then you can make your own triangular pockets, you can make double pockets, whatever. There's no sky is the limit, you can say. So you can create different kinds of pockets, but usually what I try to do is, when I'm doing a video like this, I try to keep in mind that not everybody is very expert at making things like this. So I try to give a basic version. So here I'm going to create some secretarial kind of pocket, and I'm going to make two separate pockets because I want to keep that fold line very clear. I don't want any overlap along that crease line, because then that's going to hinder the movement of the folio, not the folio, the insert. So I'm just guesstimating. I'm not using any ruler, I'm not using any scoreboard, I'm just folding the paper and just guesstimating how much I will require to make these pockets. So I'm going to keep it this big because it's going to be secretarial pocket. It will have that angular cut, and also I'm going to make two separate pockets. Just as I said, I want to have that fold line very open and clear, so that it does not have any kind of difficulty when I'm going to be closing this up. So I'm just measuring this up, and now I'm going to trim this down. So I'm going to move that paper or the insert and just take off the extra bit. That can be used later on in any other kind of project that we will do. So I just need to trim off that rough edge, but yeah. So, and I'm also going to be taking off that bottom part that I've folded. So I'm going to use my craft knife and take off the extra. So this part has to go away. Okay, so that's done. Now we have this whole section. Now if I want to place this whole section on the insert itself, that can be done, but in that case it's going to add bulk to the score line. So I'm going to trim off these into two separate sections and create two pockets, and then I'm going to glue them down. Okay, so I'm going to create secretarial pockets as I said. I'm just trying to guesstimate how much I want to take off. I think I'm going to take off from here. So And after I do the first one, I'm just going to invert this pocket that I've done, okay, and I'm going to take off this extra bit so that they will be exact on both sides. That will look nice, basically, nothing else. You can do any ways you like. You can, make a circle, cut a circle notch, thumb notch sort of thing at the top. If you're making a rectangular pocket, anything can be done. And you can make double pockets. So I'm going to lay these pockets on this side. This is the first pocket and this is the other pocket, and also going to guesstimate how much extra I have on the two sides, whether they fit or not, whether they close nicely or not. So I'm going to take off a little bit more, because as I said, I do not want anything that will hinder the movement along the crease line. So if I place my pockets like this, it's the best thing, and then I can close this easily. So I will stitch these pockets and come back to show you how they look. And this side is going to be glued on the page. So when you open this, you will see the pockets, and on the other side you will see scraps of paper that I'm going to be adding as a mini notebook sort of thing. So here I am planning on trimming down the insert a little bit, because I found it was too tall, and if it is in this size, which is just an eyeballing, I have not measured that out, it's going to look very suitable for any kind of journal. Like if it's a smaller journal, I can put it on the page. If it's a bigger journal, then that's going to work too. So that is one of the reasons why I have decided to trim down the top part a little bit. And now I'm going to stitch the pockets and come back to show you. So I'm back after I have stitched around the pockets, as well as I've gathered up some papers which I'm going to add as journaling paper as such, a journaling paper which I'm going to stitch in the insert itself. So this is how it's going to look. So this is I'm going to put the pockets on this side and then some journal paper on the other crease. So, and the back side is going to be glued on the journal itself. So let me show you how the things are going. So here are some of the papers that I'm going to be using. Some lined papers. These are very thin notebook pages. I'm just going to fold them in half and just creating a mini notebook sort of thing. You don't need to put a ton of papers, just 2 or 3 will do. So I'm using 4 sheets of paper, just scraps that I had, nothing special that needs because this is not going to be a standalone journal. This is going to be put, either it's going to be paper clipped or it's going to be stitched, it's going to be glued on the page itself. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 sheets or 4 sheets, but preferably keep it not more than 4 sheets. So I'm going to take off the extra. I do have a little bit of extra poking out of the insert, so I'm going to take off that extra bit, and then it will fit perfectly for this kind of project. So I'm just taking off these thin strips of paper, and I can put this over here. I need to take off the top also, so I'm going to take off a little bit from the top. and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to take off some extra, and now you can see how it fits inside this insert. This is just a simple piece of paper that I've folded in thirds. Okay, so nothing else, nothing special. And on the other part, I'm going to stitch over here. So since this is a very simple embellishment kind of insert, I'm not going to go through this very detailed version. I'm just tying this. Basically I've used only made two holes, and now I'm going to tie this, tie a knot, sort of bow knot sort of thing. Just it looks nice when we are doing something like this, but I need to make this a little bit tighter so that you can machine stitch it also. I have done that also, but in this version I wanted to show you the other options apart from machine stitching and 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'm just taking off the extra thread, and we have our insert ready. Okay, so now we have the insert ready. Now we have to put down the pockets. That's it. So now we have the pockets stitched. I can just glue them down. So I'm going to glue on two sides and keep two sides open, because then I can easily put in whatever journal card I want. If it's a little bit bigger, then it doesn't you don't need to worry, it's going to fit in eventually. So if I change my mind, I can always add glue to the third side, but right now I'm just gluing two sides and keeping two sides open, so that I'll have ample room to put a bigger journal card. So I'm going to just add this and put this down, and I'm just trying to be careful about the score line or the fold line where this will eventually close. I don't want that pocket edge to come very close to that, yet it should look they are pretty close. I mean, there should be a cohesiveness, but they should not be on the crease line. So because this paper is pretty thick, I decided to follow this kind of method. If I would have been using vellum, then I could have used a single piece and just glue it or stitch it along the insert itself. But in this case, since I am using a thicker paper, I wanted to be mindful of the fact that I should keep that crease line open, or ample space for it to close and open. So that's it. And this is how it's looking. So these are the pockets, these are the two pockets. Okay, and you can put journal cards in. If I want, I can always glue these two sides down, but this is closed. So what happens is, if you can put a tab on one of the sides, so on the top, so you can put a lace tab, a fabric tab, or even the page tabs that can be created. So this is kind of a pocket, two pockets, and then you can glue this on a journal page. So you have two pockets over here, and then you have an insert over here, paper, and then I'll show you how it looks when I add it to a journal page. So just a minute, hold on, I'll be back with a journal where I will show you how it looks on a journal page. So I will do another version And in this case I have trimmed this paper down into a bit narrower version, because in case I make a thinner journal I can use this the narrow insert that we're going to create. So there are going to be two versions, one which opens on the left, the other which opens on the right. So the one that we have done opens on the left, and now we're going to do another one. This one is going to be a floating one. I'm going to show you how it looks on a journal. So this is the journal page, okay, and when you glue this down on a page it will open up on the right hand side, okay. So you can glue this down on a journal page, it will open up on the right hand side, and the back, the blank side that you have, that's going to be glued, and here you have the insert, okay. So then this closes down. You can make a pocket at the back also by gluing on three sides, keeping one side open. So this is going to open on the right hand side, and this one that we are going to do, it's going to open on the left hand side. So I'm going to show you how it looks. See, it's going to look like this. So on this one it's going to open on the left hand side, okay, and the one that we're going to do is going to open on the right hand side. So I'm going to glue the back part, but in this case I'm not going to show you how to, this is the floating version that I want to show you. So I already have the pockets stitched around. So here I'm just using some rectangular pockets. As usual, I want to keep the crease line open so that it has no difficulty in closing, and I can add papers. I can always add insert papers, but in this one I'm not adding papers. I'm just gluing these pockets down, and I'll show you how I'm going to add another pocket so that it can be a floating insert. So I'm just gluing on the three sides, okay. So I'm gluing on the three sides, and I'm going to create the same thing. I'm going to mimic the same thing on the other side, okay. So on this side you can add I can add a pocket, so I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to add this pocket over here. You can embellish these pockets, just as I always say, this is just the basic version. You can make double pockets, you can embellish the pockets, you can add vellum pockets to these pockets, you can add snippets, whatever suits you. Like, this is just the basic version, and I place the pockets down, just glue it down, and then on this side I'm going to add another pocket. So I have some scraps already, so I want to use those scraps. I want to use this blue number label sort of thing. So I'm going to make this into a pocket and cut around it. Just trying to guesstimate how much I will require. So I'm going to need this much, and I'm not stitching this pocket, I'm just going to lay this down, but I will make sure you can add another small pockets at the top. There can be different arrangements of pockets. You can make it totally an insert full of pockets also. Like, instead of putting the papers down, you can add lace pockets there, or you can add vellum pockets. Now I'm going to strengthen the lip portion of the pocket as I usually do, because in this case it is more essential because it's not a stitched pocket. So I'm just going to add that strip of paper, and you will see how this will look once I've done with this. So I'm just taking this off. So I need to trim off the whites a little bit. Yeah, so I need to trim the whites, and now I need to put this down, and we have another pocket over here. Okay, so now you have 3 pockets. You can put another pocket at the top also, whatever suits you, but this is how it's looking. So 1 2 3 pockets. Here you can put more papers in, or you can even put a vellum pocket here and add more pockets. So it can be a floating pocket. I'm showing you how to add that. Very simple. Just add this to your journal with the help of a paper clip, and you can embellish the paper clip a little bit, and then when you need, you can just simply take this off, and you can add some papers over here, or you can add a vellum pocket over here, or lace pocket, whatever suits you. So I'm just showing you how you can add the papers here, but I'm not adding papers in this insert because probably I'm going to add more pockets on the inside part and see how it looks. I might add lace pockets also. This is just an idea that I'm giving you, just the basic format. You can take it to another level also. It's totally up to you how you want it, how you want to use it. That's the basic thing. So thank you everybody for watching this, and bye. Have a great day.